Welcome back to the Wild West Tennis Podast, brought to you by QualityShot Tennis. I'm here with Jose Luis Clerc, who's a former top 5 player from Argentina and the top ESPN Deportes commentator. Jose, great to have you here.
Thank you very much. It's an honor for me to be with you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This guy is cool. I grew up a big fan of him. Awesome on clay, but he can still play on hard court. Hell of a Davis Cup player. But what I'd like to talk to you about, Jose, is your career in broadcasting.
Broadcasting. Well, I started like almost 30 years ago. I was the first man doing the international commentator. I'm very happy. It's an honor for me to work, especially with ESPN. You know, it's something huge. It's something big. It's something you have to work hard every day to be there. You know, there's a lot of people that would like to go there. You know, but I'm very, very happy.
Well, you're very, very fortunate because, as you know, the competition, and you've been doing it longer than anybody for ESPN Deportes. You said around 30 years.
Yes.
When did you retire? Was it the late 80s?
I was in the 85. I was retired, and then after that, I started to play again when I were 35 years old, because Connors called me to say, Jose, you want to be on the tour? The champion tour. I say sure, I would like to go over there. But then after that, I started to do my commentator with ESPN.
Yeah, and you've had like the experience of knowing all the top players. And I guess if you could speak with one, like in your time, was there one player in particular that you didn't want to play? Or maybe Jimmy. Yeah, I mean, Jimmy must like you, right? He invited you to be on that tour.
No, it's my buddy, but he was tough. John, he was tough. Bjorn, he was tough. Guillermo, Ivan, you know, everybody was really, really, really tough on the court. But I mean, the more difficult guy on the court, for sure, it was John. Still, even today, we are very, very good friends. But you know, he has a strong personality. He fights with everybody. You know, you have to be focused. You have to concentration. But he was a fantastic guy.
Yeah. So playing a serving volley player was more challenging, or was the combination he's a lefty serving volleyer, or that it's just John and the genius of John? You know what I mean?
No. I know. Well, it's were really difficult to play with him because he's a lefty. He has, in my opinion, one of the best serves in history in tennis is John McEnroe.
I agree with you.
Because you know what happened? It was hard to see where he's going to serve. In the last time he changed the spot, you know, he changed the way he was hitting. He was really, really tough. And also, you know, he pushing too much pressure to you. He's always on the net. He's always there, you know. But anyway, I love it to play with him.
And what about your fellow countryman?
Guillermo Vilas.
Yeah, Guillermo Vilas. Another lefty.
Another lefty, tough, very, very strong guy.
Yeah.
Like he was like a bull, you know, on the court. To play against him, you know, you have to be really, really concentration, and you have to say, okay, if he put 20 balls on the court, you have to put 24. If he put 25, you have to put 30 balls. But that day he was more mentally and strong. You have to be really strong on the court, good physique, good condition, because the match was so long. I remember I played with John the finals in Cincinnati, the finals of the Davis Cup. We played just one match, 5 hours and 45 minutes, just only one match. And before I played Rocco Tanner, 3 hours, and then we played one of the longest doubles matches against Peter Fleming, John, Vilas, and myself.
And wasn't that in Argentina, that match?
That match was in Cincinnati.
Oh, that was also Cincy.
That's the Cincinnati.
Okay.
That was the final. But before we played, I think it was quarterfinals in Davis Cup. We played in Argentina.
Yeah.
For sure, we played in clay. You know, in the slow clay.
That's when Arthur Ashe was the captain, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, that's the famous one. Maybe not for the well, it's famous in my mind because I remember it was everyone wanted to win. I mean, the passion. And then the cool thing is what Jose Luis Clerc, he's a modest man. He's friends with all these guys, but when they're playing and they're competing for their countries, it brings out a whole different beast.
It wasn't so easy to play in our country, you know, because the passion. They stopped the country to see Vilas and Clerc. You know, it was really, and you feel that it was was, so much pressure for everybody.
Yeah.
You try to listen the radio, they're talking about Villa St. Clair. You're watching TV, talking about Villa St. Clair. You read the newspaper, talking about. I said, "Jeez, give me a break, I want to be relaxed a little bit." It was tough, I prefer to play outside of the country than inside.
Yeah, in that time, in the late 70s into the mid 80s, you didn't have as many tournaments in Argentina as they do now, or did they have more? I guess I'm not.
No, we have 2050, two tournaments like that. One in Buenos Aires and one in Cordoba.
Okay.
It's really nice. It's very important. I think we started to have more M15. They call M15 no ITF anymore.
Right.
And they have a lot of more challengers. I mean, that's good for the young kids. They start to play tennis because they need to find some points. And to travel for us, it's so expensive. We are so far away.
Yeah.
It's not so easy.
Well, with Juan Martín del Potro retiring and Diego Schwartzman getting a little older, are there some players up and coming that maybe we are not aware of that you want to talk about?
Well, if we're talking about to try to see any top 10 players, I can say no way.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
No, not yet. That's right. We have a very good players, but not really top like for sure like Juan Martín del Potro. Forget it. What about Diego Schwartzman? Not yet. But I mean, they have to work really, really hard to have somebody like that.
That's interesting you say that, Jose. We are obviously in Guadalajara, as you can see behind us. And Jose, I think at Los Cabos I was looking for you, but I couldn't find you. Maybe maybe you were on the golf course?
No, I wasn't there.
You were not there?
No.
Okay. I met your Monica Puy I spoke with.
Yes.
But Jose, if you can speak a little bit, I think Argentina may have the same issue maybe that Mexico does. Mexico has all these tournaments here.
No, Mexico, they do so many big tournaments. You have Acapulco, you have the Santos Goy family do. It's really unbelievable. They started in February to do it. 2015 women. They did it last year, WTA finals.
That was amazing.
That's amazing. This one also, to have this one is something really huge. It's something very important for Latin America to have some tournament like that.
And Jose, I'm not sure if this is going to happen, but I've read reports that by 2024, Los Cabos might be the week before Acapulco or the week after, which would be incredible. Can you imagine you go to Los Cabos, Acapulco?
That's a great idea because you have two tournaments in Mexico, You don't have just only one tournament. I think for Acapulco, it's good anyway because you have Acapulco, Indian Wells, and Miami.
Precisely.
It's good for practice. It's good to be ready. It's a great tournament, But it's unbelievable. I think they have the ATP. They have to give some big tournaments, more like 1,000 tournaments.
I agree. Yeah, and I think for that to happen, Jose Luis, that there's a 500 in Rio around the time of Acapulco.
Yes.
So if Cabo could switch in the calendar with Rio, it would be better for the calendar.
Yes.
But then the question is, does it have to become a 500? That's a little too much political talk, I guess.
Political, and also what happened if they change the Rio, what happened with Buenos Aires and Cordoba? You got to be alone.
Okay, so this is why we get in an expert like this. Can we talk about that?
Yes.
Because what the impact if Rio were to go to in the calendar to, it would be in the summer. It would be August. So if Rio went to August, that would upset the whole balance of the South American swing.
Nobody's going to be in South America just for one tournament,
Yeah, okay.
I don't think that's a good idea to have only one tournament in South America.
You know what, guys? I think I just started a rumor that's not true. I don't think it would make sense for the Rio tournament to have to switch because it would offset what they're doing with the South American swing. So maybe another solution's available. But Jose, you mentioned this tournament in the family here that runs it, the senior and the junior. How long have you known this family? It sounds like you have a tight...
For a long time, almost 25 years.
Really?
I know Gustavo. He was my chief,
Really?
Because I used to have a tennis academy here in Acapulco, and he was my boss.
You kidding me?
No. And also he called me, like 22 years ago, I played here in Guadalajara with Borg.
Okay.
We played, we went, we were old guys, to play, but I know Gustavo for many, many years.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. And then, just the idea that they have these great tournaments here, will that lead to there being more tennis players from Mexico emerging, getting some wins, getting in the top 100, 200 on tour?
Just if they find any 100, it was amazing for Acapulco, for Mexico. I wish one day they can have anybody like that. It's not so easy, it's not too fun, it's not so simple, so it is difficult. He's a young guy, I don't remember the name, he's good in junior. He's one of the best junior in the world today. I don't remember the name. I hope one day he can arrive 100, top 100.
And was he from Mexico or Argentina?
No, he's from Mexico.
He may have, they have a top junior that played there, but I don't know if this is the same guy. I can try to find out. But the idea would be, you've had great champions from your country yourself, Vilas, and now with Del Potro and Schwartzman, and others in between. The Chela was
right. He was in Albandian, he was...
Oh, Albandian, of course.
He was Coria, he was Gaudio, he was so many good players from Argentina. He was Haite, Mancini, very good tennis player, yes.
They were the Mancini and Heidi, were they your generation or just after?
No, after, yes. I'm a little bit older.
So it's a bit interesting though, you have this long run, and then you have a dry spell, kind of like in the United States. We were winning majors every year. Roddick won in 03, and we haven't had a singles champion since. So these ebb and flow of tennis is normal really around the whole world.
Yeah, but when the federation didn't do anything, it's hard to find some good players. That's what happened in my country.
Okay, so what can you say about that the federation is not working together, it's not cohesive?
No, I think they don't do the correct way to try to do champions.
Okay.
Because you need to start with kids, 5, 6 years, 7 years old, and then you start thinking about the future champions. But if you don't do anything behind the good players, you're never going to find another tennis players.
Well, how did it work for you? I saw a documentary on Guillermo, who was a little older than you, isn't he?
Yes, he's 6 years older than me.
Okay, so he's
70.
Is he really?
He's 70, man. We're getting old.
He's a cool dude too. I'll just a quick thing on him. I was at a fantasy camp for John Newcomb, and John Newcomb, he's at a fantasy camp, and Vilas was coaching me, and man, he was such a cool dude. He loves people. He loves tennis like you. So the question I guess remains that if they're not working to develop these 5 and 6 year olds, is it because they don't have the right personnel, or they're just stuck to a system that maybe they don't want to change?
That's a very good question, excellent question. What happened in my country, in Argentina, we have a very good coaches. Because you have coaches, they used to play tennis, they used to be on the tour.
Okay.
But you don't need that guys to start to teach tennis. You need teachers, you need maestro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To keep hours and hours and hours showing the way to hit forehand, backhand, serve, volley, to run. You need el maestro.
Yeah.
Not the really coach.
Yeah, exactly. And it's you have faith that perhaps you'll see some changes. The last thing I would like to ask you is, what are your plans for, when you have the off season and you're not covering tournaments for ESPN Deportes? What do you like to do? I know you have a big family.
Yeah, I have a big family. I have 5 kids. I have the young one. She's 11 years old. I spend a lot of time with her, and I play golf.
Yeah.
I love to play golf.
Yeah,
and relax.
I mean, this guy's in amazing shape. You do one of these, and you're like, whoa! So it's cool. He said he's 60 something, but
64, man.
Yeah, it's like that Beatles song, "When I'm 64." So
when I'm 64,
but
right.
you don't seem to be a man. You have such vitality. You don't plan to stop commentating, probably for.
No, it's my life. To tennis is my life. It's something what I like. I love when the ESPN say, Jose, you want to go to Guadalajara? I say yes. I want to go now, not tomorrow. You want to go to Roland Garros? You want to go to U.S. Open? You want to go to Wimbledon? I say straight away now. Tennis is my life.
But you never stopped. If you had that playing career, and then you maybe took a little break, and then you went on the tour with Jimmy, you pretty much every time of the year in June, you're going to hopefully still be in Paris, or you go to Paris in May. In June you'll be at Wimbledon, and you'll be in New York in August. That's your life.
It is my life. Tennis is my life, and also I'm very lucky because working with ESPN, I know everybody.
Yeah.
If I was sitting in my house, I don't understand who is Roger Federer, who was Rafael Nadal,
Yeah.
you know, something like that. But I was very lucky to work with ESPN men.
Well, we're lucky to have you. I'm going to let you
Thank
go.
you.
He's got to get to work, and I might
to
get him in trouble.
Yes.
But thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Wild West Tennis Podcast, brought to you by QualityShot Tennis. Remember to subscribe, like, or follow us on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you.
See you guys.
Adios.
Ciao.